Well, you're still watching NTV, and this time I'm coming to you from Namanve here in Wakiso district. Of course, this beautiful morning we'll be speaking matters innovation, for we know the fact that government, all institutions of government have been working around solving an environmental challenge, which is pollution, among other related issues. But where I am this time is where the electric motorbikes are being assembled, and this is Spiro, Uganda, to be specific. And just like you can see in my background, young men and women who are just making sure that from the first nut, the motorbike is ready to go to the market. The plant is quite big, like you can see at different places, intervals. Men and women are making sure that the bikes are being assembled here and ready to hit Uganda's market. Many of them are still in circulation, of course, but we want this time to dive into what someone can understand. What does it take for a bike to be made ready from Uganda here and it goes on to the market? I am joined by one of the production managers here who is just going to take us through what is really happening. Let's start with your name and tell us what exactly happens inside here.
Yes. Greetings, my name is William Khatang, production manager here at Spiro, Uganda. So I take care of the two-wheeler production and the swap rack production.
Okay.
So basically what we are doing here, we are assembling the most affordable bike in Uganda. So we focus on the process, we focus on safety, we focus on quality and efficiency, because at the end of the day, the goal is to make our bikes affordable to the rider.
Okay, you take us through. I can see now what's happening here. I saw the first bike is being assembled. The first nut, I can say, being assembled the other side, and this seems to be a chain of the whole production process. So where are we right now, for example?
So where we are right now, this is on our station 5. So as you can see, when our bike comes, we call it completely knocked down, meaning each and every part comes separately. That is why now we need a process. We need to know what comes after what, who does what and how is it done. So on this station, as you can see, our bike has just been put this. So what we are doing now, we are putting the front part of the bike. We are tying the brakes. We just tied the handlebar.
Okay.
So basically we need to ensure that, from the beginning, from the first frame, from just the frame, to the first nut and bolt that's put there. The whole process, the whole order, everything is done in order, so that at the end of the line we get a beautiful, complete, and good quality product.
Okay, so what is happening? I can see. Let's walk and tell me the next phase. I can see. So what is being put on the bike at this point?
So at this point, we just put our controller. The controller is like the brain of the bike.
Okay.
So if you accelerate, the controller tells our engine, which is the motor, how much power to release.
Okay.
So the controller right now has just been tight, and we are doing some electrical connection from the controller now to the throttle and to the motor.
Okay. And then at this point, I can see the lights being put from here. This is station number. I think you have now. This is number 8.
Yes.
So what happens at number 8? Station number 8. Yes.
So here on station number 8, we have a gentleman here at the back who's doing our wiring for the back. So basically the lights, the brake lights, and the indicators, everything. And then, of course, even in the middle here, we have some wiring happening.
Okay.
This is basically for the controls of the bike.
Okay.
Yes.
So someone would want to know, where do you get the expertise to do this thing? Are these Ugandans, for starters? You can explain to us.
Well, our product is made by Ugandans for Ugandans. So everybody that you see here is Ugandan. And these are fresh out of their vocational schools, out of university, and they come here, we give them some training, and at the end of the day, they become experts at what they do, as you can see.
Okay, let me leave you. I just want to speak to one of the young men or women here to just tell us exactly. Let me talk to this lady here. Thank you for joining me on NTV.
Thank you so much.
What have you been doing here? This is station number 9. Yes.
So in this station, I'm basically doing quality checks to ensure
what's your name?
that...
Let's start with your name.
So I'm Aliri Divine. I'm the production engineer.
Okay.
And I joined Spiro through the Spiro Academy.
Okay.
So I was a fresh graduate. I got done with campus last year.
Okay.
And then Spiro actually enrolled me into the Spiro Academy program, whereby they trained us in different various skills we had the technical bit of things, because at school we all know we do theoretical things.
Yes.
So we have a lot of theoretical knowledge, but through the Spiro Academy, I actually got to learn technical things, things that I never learned at school. So some of those things shaped me in a way that I was able to learn how to assemble a bike. So right now I can confidently say I can assemble a whole bike, I can carry out quality checks. So I'm so confident in that, and that is all through the Spiro Academy and the trainings that I've received, and also the mentorship that I've received.
And you're doing a job that's male-dominated, I can say. How do you find this as a young girl?
Honest, at first it was challenging, but right now I'm very confident because I'm able to do things that men feel, well, that was once male-dominated. So right now I'm inspiring a lot of ladies, which is a really
How many ladies do you have doing this job with you
So
here?
we have 40% of the population in the assembly line is of ladies. So that is a very good thing. Yet we started with about 7 ladies. So right now it's a very good improvement. And we also have a whole assembly line with only ladies. So yes.
Well, I am still taking you through what's happening inside the Spiro, Uganda plant here, where the electric motorbikes are being assembled here. Different, of course, stages until the other side when it's still complete. You can see very many young girls and women doing a good job here. I don't know if, is it that young girls and women are picking interest in doing engineering and electrical related works as well? Take us through what is happening here first of all. Let's start with your name.
Yes. My name is Maka Humuza, and I'm the production engineer in charge of the integrated swap racks as well as the reworks.
Okay.
So what are integrated swap racks? Now, swap racks, these are the entities that get to charge our batteries.
Okay.
So they're integrated. Why? Because we get to put in chargers. We're able to put in the protective devices. We're able to put in we're able to put in the fans, the smoke alarms.
Are you telling us that all these components are embedded right from here?
Yes, all these components are embedded in right from here.
Okay.
So we have about 10 stations. So this is about the third stations where they get to put in the chargers, the adapters that get to break down the current, because our batteries use DC, which is direct current.
Okay.
So these get to break down the alternating that we receive to direct current.
Yes. I am interested in speaking to one of the young ladies I can see here. Just give it a feel, because I'm always seeing women. Let me just talk to one of the ladies here. How does this come into your mind? I can see you are only ladies that are working on the swap station. Let's start with your name. Yes.
So my name is Wango Simplishanus, but you can call me Simple. I studied industrial engineering and management. That is under mechanical.
Okay.
And you asked about why I took the interest.
Yes.
Well, first of all,
Yes.
when you look at the bike's assembly, the conveyor, it has mainly the men.
Yes.
So we look at it and we saw that the swap racks need to have the ladies. We need to encourage the ladies more to join the engineering field because we can also do this.
Okay.
So we need to encourage them to do that.
Okay, so what is happening at this point?
So at station 6, like he has explained to you, all the other parts come in when they're already installed.
Okay.
So at this station, we only have the installation of the boards.
Okay.
That is the warehouse board, the control board, the IoT. This helps us with the GPS tracking and then the Wi-Fi. This is the IoT module.
Are you trying to tell us that at the charging point there is Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is. So the GPS, and then we have the IoT, the auxiliary power module as well.
Okay.
Then the communication cables. These are the communication cables that are connected. They help us to read the battery, connect the battery to the warehouse board, and then the main control unit.
Okay.
Yes. So that is this station specifically.
So how many of these can you make in a day? Let's just give it a rough estimate.
So our takt time is about 30 minutes.
To have assembled a full...
No. Takt time is how long it takes for a rack to leave a station, 30 minutes.
Okay.
So to assemble a full, starting from station 1 to the last one, it is 3 hours. So in a day, we can produce a maximum of 15 racks.
Now, what I earlier showed you in the production department, this is now the complete session of what someone would call a complete bike ready to hit the road. And many of the people have seen them on the streets, but want to understand what is so special with these bikes. Why should someone opt to have it? I am joined by the Deputy Country Director, that is Bruce Muchunguzi, to just now give us the final recap. And thank you so much for joining me on NTV.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
I don't know if you also came riding on the same bike, like it looks beautiful.
In my 20 years of riding, I've had the best experience on a Spiro bike.
Okay.
So, personally, I have enjoyed this machine for the last 3 years, and I can assure you, it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience. You need to try one.
Okay. I have had the best interactions with the young boys and girls who are assembling this. First of all, what do you want to achieve as Spiro in as far as how you're making efforts? First of all, I am told you want to address an environmental effort, which is pollution and the rest. But what do you want to achieve at large, if I can ask?
Certainly, at the end of the day, the higher goal, the higher vision for Spiro is prosperity. We want to see how we can bring prosperity to humanity through improving livelihoods by electric mobility, large-scale electric mobility. I'll tell you something, that by the nature of our product, we can directly touch the lives of the bottom of the pyramid, Ugandans, that is people who don't have jobs, dropped out of school, get onto a motorcycle, and immediately you start to earn. You start to change your life. And through the Spiro Academy, we also now expose them to opportunities through which they can learn how to, over and above the riding, also have an extra skill, and maybe tomorrow also have their own garage, have their own motorcycle dealership, and then life is changed. The whole community is transformed through one electric motorcycle.
I have reliably been informed that you have 20 motorcycles or motorbikes which are in operation now. Your target is to make 50,000 by June. How are you going to achieve this?
So, two things. When you're building a house, what you did in the foundation, you continue with it in varying shapes and form as you go up. So the same way we're able to have 20,000 motorcycles deployed on the road in the last 18 months, we are only going to increase the tempo, the pace, and the reach to be able to have these 50,000 motorcycles by June 2026. Two things will happen. One, we are setting up an extra 1,250 swap stations in the next 4 months. Two, we are setting up an additional 1,000 service points in the next 4 months. These will ensure that as these bikes come on the road, they will stay on the road for longer and have a cleaner Kampala.
When you are talking about this, people think it's only the population around Kampala that benefits. For example, where I come from, in Ibududa, people may be watching and say, how do we get such bikes? And we look at the multiplier factor across the country given the demand.
Yes. So in Ibududa, you can just go straight to Mbale, you'll be sorted. Down in Tororo, you'll be sorted. Even in Jinja, you'll be sorted. So we have surrounded Bududa with electric battery swap stations. We are going deeper in this network. So the way the network was built, we started from the city, then went on the highway to Jinja, Iganga, all the way to Mbale and Soroti. So the next phase, which you're going to see before June, is to deepen the reach up to Bududa and ensure that up the hills of Massabaland, you will have an electric experience.
Mr. Bruce, someone would really want to understand, how much money are we talking about? Maybe relatives in the village may want to know, how much can they collect maybe by June, that time you're talking about, they can own one of these bikes?
So they'll just have to sell 20 kilograms of maize or about 15 kilograms of beans. That's 100,000 shillings. And they'll be able to enjoy an electric motorcycle immediately.
Okay. Let me just get your parting shots maybe in about a minute, Bruce.
My parting shots are very simple. As Uganda, we have come from far. We are known for the Pearl of Africa. We need to ensure the environment is actually much better, more greener than we found it. And this is only going to be achievable through electric mobility. Enjoy a Spiro electric motorcycle to keep your environment greener, cleaner, and also yourself getting richer.
Okay. For time reasons, I will end this conversation here. But Mr. Bruce, thank you so much for making time to speak to us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, well, it's of course greening the environment as we speak. I earlier told you these motorbikes are now made ready to go to the road. And so it's upon you who is watching that you can have this. And many many government officials have also come to see that this can be an effort, especially to reduce pollution in Kampala, among other areas. But for time reasons, allow me get this conversation back to the studios.